Greetings everyone, my name is Rohit Patil and today I'll be presenting about deepfake. Deepfakes are mostly known for their capabilities to swap the faces of actors from one video to another. They first appeared in 2018 and quickly rose to fame after they were used to modify adult videos to feature the faces of Hollywood actors and politicians. In the past couple of years, deepfakes have caused much more concern due to the rise of a new wave of AI doctored videos which could spread fake news and enable forgers and scammers. So deepfake is actually a use of machine learning algorithm to produce kind of fake media content. The deep in the deepfake comes from the use of deep learning. So the basic idea behind deepfake is the use of artificial neural networks to train on multiple examples of a target of a reference image to create another video with the target's face on that image. As you can see in the example in this GIF, the scene is from the movie Forrest Gump, but instead of Tom Hanks, we see John Travolta running. So how do deepfakes work? So most of the deepfakes algorithm are some variation of a neural network called generative adversarial networks. So the way but the main type of neural network used in deepfakes is the autoencoder. So the way the autoencoder works is it takes an input image and it compresses it and it extracts a small set of numerical values from that image. And then it uses a decoder which uses these small set of values to reconstruct the output image. So this can be considered as a form of compression. So uh, the idea behind is the complete image can be represented by a small amount of numbers. So this idea was used for deepfake in a different way. So in deepfake, actually there are two encoders and decoders. So what the deepfake algorithm does is it encodes both the images, the reference image as well as the target image, and then for the decoding procedure, it swaps the output of the reference image with the target image. So what happens is the facial features of the reference image get overlaid on the target image, and we see a video of the first person on the face on the second one.
Congratulations. How does it feel being All-American?
Very good, sir.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I gotta pay.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
So as you can see, this idea of doctoring videos is not a new one. It has been available since decades. So the clip which I just showed is from the same movie where filmmakers digitally inserted archival footage of JFK and manipulated his mouth movements. But in those days, this was a highly time-consuming task, and it involved highly skilled artists and a lot of money. But with the help of deepfake technology, anyone with access to a powerful enough computer can make these videos at little or no cost. These are some other examples. In the first clip here, you can see a real-time enactment of a researcher. So as he's speaking, this does not have any audio content, but it could also be done with an audio recording. So I'll just play that once again. So as he's speaking in a webcam, the target video is mimicking his mouth movements. Similarly, it can be done with someone else's videos, as can be seen here. And also, this deepfake technology is not only limited to video content, it can also be applied to audio content so that a person's voice is overlaid on somebody else's voice. Some other applications of this technology can be to create memes or like satire videos or parody videos, or in movie industry where a person who's not available for a particular scene can submit with the help of some other actor the video footage of the person required can be added later on. As it has been done in many movies, like in recent Fast and Furious. After the death of the lead actor, they used his brother for most of the scenes and then added the face of Paul Walker later on. Also, uh, like the some researchers from Samsung's AI lab, they turned Mona Lisa into a video. So such kind of things can be actually helpful to promote art as well. This is just a video that I got over the internet where Johnny Cage's face is mocked over everyone in this movie where he's not even a cast in that movie. There is a lot of other disadvantage of using of this technology. So, like politicians have been lying for as long as politics has existed, but the threat of deepfakes to democracy is overblown. Like, what if a deepfake video of portrays a particular political leader inciting violence or panic? This could create havoc in our everyday life. But the more realistic threat, however, is the creation of deepfake pornography that puts a celebrity's or an ex-girlfriend's head on the body of a porn star. All that the deepfake porn creator needs is a couple of images of the victim, which can be easily taken from social media site, and a video of the victim's face for a couple of minutes long. Not only that, uh, if the because deepfake technology helps us create fake content, many politicians can use it as an excuse to dismiss a claim that a controversial statement they made on camera. So how do we combat deepfake? Many institutions like universities like Carnegie Mellon, University of Washington, Stanford, Max Planck, as well as government institutions like DARPA are actually actively researching over this technology. So in order to learn how to spot deepfake, you must first learn how to make them. Depending upon the kind of neural network used, the final quality of the image, it is also possible. It is possible to spot flaws in the video, like sharp contrast or lighting or other disjunctions. If you see all the recent deepfake videos, a little bit of visual inspection you can actually point out that it's a fake video. But the technology is progressing at a very high rate, so it might not be humanly possible in the future to do so. Also, if we build a neural network to detect it, since the idea of this algorithm is to create an output image which defeats detection, so building another network to detect it might not always be possible. So by far the best solution we have is to use our ability to look at things in context. So to summarize, with any kind of technological innovation, we always know that people will always find ways to use it in for a bad purpose. Deepfake technology has actually some is one of such advancement of machine learning that I can actually improve our lives. But it is also being used for uh, creating fake news and spreading false alarms. So it is up to us to recognize disinformation by judging it in the context of other things that we know are true. To finally summarize my presentation, I would like to present this video.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or, how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. That's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia. Thank you. And stay woke, bitches. We're entering
That's all for this presentation. Thank you guys. Thank you for listening.